everyone, and welcome back to the Role Players Guild, where we are playing Dream Dealers of Fairhaven tonight, our 5E campaign run by DM Jason. I am Beluga, your guildmaster here at the Role Players Guild, playing Mark 5, the Warlock, the Warforged Warlock. And I'm going to pass it on to Alex with Laura on deck.
Hello, I'm Alex. I'm playing Xylex Yerster, your lizard folk cleric druid multiclass. Laura, take it away.
Hello, I'm Laura, and I'm playing Gilzaf, who's an auto-gnome rogue. And now it's B Spouse's turn.
I'm B's spouse. I'm playing B's character and my own until such time as I'm not doing that and I'm playing a different character that is my own. Jason.
Hey everyone, good evening and welcome to another exciting action-packed adventure-filled episode of Dungeons & Dragons, where we are playing in the realm of Eberron, in the adventure, as was stated, the Dream Dealers of Fairhaven. My name is Jason, and I will be your guide to the light. And tonight, you brave and perhaps foolish adventurers have found yourselves in a large, dark, and scary basement in a giant textiles factory in the town of Fairhaven, where you have been investigating some strange occurrences that have been happening in the town, which you were all hired to investigate and find out, get answers to, and perhaps alleviate. In our last episode, when we last left our heroes, you had stumbled upon something of a cult happening, a congregation of people stuck in a trance. Someone snooked up and stole one of the gems at the front of the room from one of the ringleaders. Not sure who that might have been. And once that gem was moved out of the vicinity of these beings, they all woke up rather angry and tried to kill you all. But you showed them. You brought out the spells, you brought out the lightning, you brought out the steel and the sword and the arrow and the flying psychic knives and dispatched the lot of them. The room has now fallen silent. It is littered with dead bodies. And now you comprehend what to do next. This appears to be one of the pretty much most likely the largest room on this floor, but there's still lots of nooks and crannies and secrets to discover. We take you now to that scene, and we stand here with Justice standing in the middle, and just kind of surveying the scene. Mark 5, the Warforged, looking about, and we have Elsbeth, the Lightning Caster, who pretty much just got done barbecuing the entire group of adversaries, and of course we have the lizard folk Xylek looking about. All right, we'll start with Justice. Tell us what your character is up to at the moment. Oh, and we forgot Gilzaf. We also have Gilzaf. Stop being 1.5 feet tall. You're hard to see.
Hey, I'm 2.5 feet tall. I
2.5
discovered
feet
that
tall.
I told you that wrong.
Right? We also have Gilzaf.
Tiny.
The what is you're a construct gnome, right?
Yeah, an auto gnome, which is a type of construct. And in this realm, they probably all think that I'm a Warforged, but I'm not.
Right on.
I'm like Pinocchio.
You're like Pinocchio with like psychic knives, right? That come out of your hands. Very
Exactly.
cool. All right, Justice, tell us what your character is up to.
Well, I believe Justice is mostly dealing with all of that. That was a lot of people, and there are now a lot of dead bodies, and they probably smell pretty not great. And I think Justice is regretting several decisions in his life at this time, most of which led him here.
Yep.
He would much rather be at home with his daughter, and he is definitely considering that and considering what is going on here and whether he's in the right place.
Right? Yes. There are those moments where we have that introspection, right? Where we ponder the choices that we made, the roads that we took, the bends in the way. But there are also nights like this when we must deal with what is at hand. And one of the details that you mentioned, that they all stink and smell gross, that actually kind of strikes you as a little bit odd, because as you look upon some of these people, some of them look like they're supposedly really well kept. Some of them are wearing really nice clothes, nice suits, stately attire. But nonetheless, as you look upon them, they're kind of their clothes are a little bit tattered and very unkept, and that little detail kind of strikes you as a little bit odd. Let's see, Gilzaf hiding beneath the kind of hanging out there behind the pew. Tell us what you're up to.
I am severely debating rifling through pockets, but my friendo, it looks kind of like ill. So I'm inching towards some pockets. If nobody stops me, I'm probably gonna rifle through it, but I'm hesitant because I don't want to make my friend more ill.
All right,
Anything
right.
gonna stop me?
And they look very tempting. There's many, many pockets.
I'm gonna rifle through the pockets of the big guy who I already stole from with a 14 sleight of hand.
Okay.
You're trying to do it sneaky style?
Like casual style.
Okay.
You don't want anyone to
No,
know
like-
that you
If you're
Okay.
like looking, then I got a hand in a pocket, but I'm not like making a fuss about it, you know.
Okay. Reaching your hand into the pocket of one of these of the side coat pocket of one of these bodies, your hand begins to feel something rather jingly, and as you come about, you find yourself with some coinage, and it looks like about 15 pieces of silver.
Nice.
And there was
15.
something else in that pocket as well. You might make another attempt. Something that might have felt like maybe a pouch.
16?
16, 15 pieces of silver.
No. That was my second attempt at a sleight of hand, which is
Oh, 16. Okay, yeah, you got it. Yeah, good enough. Fairly unnoticed. You come out with what looks like something kind of like this, like a little leather case pouch carrying thing.
Ooh.
It's kind
Is
of
its
interesting.
mechanism funky looking like that one?
Yeah, looks a lot like that. Looks like it's got like a turning mechanism that could be open like such. Like so.
I'm gonna sit on the ground to open it, but first I'm going to make sure it's not trapped.
No problem. Go ahead and make go ahead and grab it a good check. Give it a investigation check for traps.
That's a 15.
Okay. It's not trapped. It looks like it's a regular mechanism. You don't see any like odd springs or any kind of like when you look through the gaps and stuff, you don't see any like metal pinnings or whatever that might indicate that it's spring trapped or anything like that.
I open it.
All right, reaching in, you move your fingers to unlock the mechanism, and you lift up the flap. And as you do so, it springs into motion. The lid chomps down on your fingertip as
no.
massive amounts of teeth just chomp, and you hear this little chomp, and it just comes down on your finger,
Well,
taking
technically it's not trapped.
3 points of piercing damage to your fingers. And this thing just like gnaws on your fingers. It's like
Can I attempt to? Does animal handling work on a mimic?
I don't know.
only one way to find out.
I want to make this little
Yeah, we
tiny
could try
pouch
that
my
out.
friend.
Okay.
I'm not good at animal handling, but I am also
And you
being
do-
loud about this.
And you do recognize it as a young mimic.
Oh yeah, sorry, that was me.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't
Yep,
it.
yep.
I'm
That's all right. Yep. You would likely know about this. But we can try an animal handling on this.
sorry. 7. I rolled a 7.
A 7?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not a great Not a great roll for animal handling. It continues to kind of try to gnaw on your finger, and I mean you're able to kind of pull it off of there, and it just kind of like
Mhm.
you're able to kind of hold it by the almost hold it by the back of the neck, so to speak, and it just continues to chomp chomp chomp, kind of
I'm gonna
angrily.
bring it over to the party and be like, I found this mimic.
Justice is right there. You can see this, right?
Sure. Yeah. I'm not
This would
being
be causing quite a stir. Yeah,
Like,
you hear this
just-
noise and you look
Just
over
as
and
a
see this.
reaction. Just as a reaction, it's like, what the hell is it? No, down! Get off that finger! He is going to yell at it like a dog.
I'm going to attempt my channel divinity as a nature
Mhm.
cleric to try and charm the creature.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, this is only for beasts or plant creatures, so I don't know if the mimic's going to fall under one of those. But
Okay.
if it does, it needs to make a wisdom saving throw 16.
You got it. And it's an 11. It's a fail.
Hoo-hoo.
Okay. It is
That
now
mimic-
charmed for the next minute. I
Okay.
will tell it to. Actually, did I tell it to do anything, or was it just charmed?
And it just kind of begins staring at you once you speak that incantation. Its many eyes kind of fixate upon you a little bit, and it just kind of hangs there in Gilzap's fingers. Its massive tongue kind of hanging out the side.
Okay, so while it's charmed, it is friendly to me and other creatures that I designate. So I will
Okay.
designate the rest of my party as friendlies.
Okay.
And
All
I
right.
will walk up to Gilzaph and kneel down. So I'm like kind of eye level where the mimic is, and
Uh-huh.
just
Mhm.
quietly whisper under my tongue or under my breath for it to remove itself from my robot friend and to scurry away.
Okay.
Please.
All right.
I'll speak in Draconic.
Okay.
I speak Draconic?
All right. As it is charmed, it kind of.
I'll
Go ahead.
do Druidic instead. Not Draconic.
Okay. All right, and it understands what you're saying. It kind of tries to wiggle out of Gilzap's grasp, and it kind of waddles down on the floor, and kind of looks a little confused. Looks around a little bit of where to go, and then it kind of tries to make its way back into the pocket of this of the from whence it came.
Do I have a smaller pocket that doesn't have anything in it for the mimic to eat?
Mm-hmm. Up to you. We can say that, and you can say that you do. You likely have a pouch or a bag or something of that nature.
I have a jar of pickled flesh.
Hey, there you go.
I'm gonna open the jar and offer it to the mimic to climb into.
Okay. It immediately
I'll-
smells the aroma and turns to go to enter that jar. What's that, Xylic?
I was just gonna encourage the mimic to follow suit.
Okay.
Are you putting that thing in a pickling jar?
It's my friend now. It's a
I'm
little
not.
tiny pouch.
I'm not sure that anything you stick in a pickling jar is going to stay your friend for very long.
Well, if it eats all the pickled things
It-
in it.
Can't that thing drown?
Yeah. Why don't you just pour out the liquid and poke some holes at the top so it can at least still breathe?
Can
I'm
it
gonna
drown?
do exactly that.
I don't know.
Okay.
No, most animals or creatures of this world need some sort of air or
Is-
sustenance. I'm not sure.
Is Gilzaph pouring the brine, as it were, out, or drinking the brine?
Absolutely pouring it out. I'm not drinking that. That's gross.
Looks like I don't have any spell slots for cure disease, so I hope the cleric does.
Right. Here's hoping, right?
Yeah, I essentially poured it out just kind of on the ground and poked holes in
Okay.
it.
I can
the
purify
lid.
food and drink, but I don't think we're worried about that right now.
Okay.
Nah, I think the mimic can eat pickled flesh. I feel like that's
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. My character doesn't, but I think mimics can pretty much eat.
You know,
Yeah. Look
Yeah,
over.
but-
How about if you guys look over your character sheets, check out your nature, like a nature check, and
I
see who would like to
guarantee you
roll for
you're
that.
better at nature than me because I have 1.
Do I get advantage since it's charmed by me or anything? Or no, this is just a natural. Or,
Yeah, it'd be just like a knowledge check of nature. Okay. We have an 11 on the board.
I
Yeah,
have
that should be
9.
good.
Okay. All right. Collectively, it's
4.
good enough. It hits that middle of the road. So yeah, you do remember, recall from learning about mimics. Mimics are carnivorous creatures that consume flesh. They typically lure prey by disguising themselves as inanimate objects like treasure chests, doors, furniture, or miniature dice bags, and then ambush their victims. Once a mimic captures its prey using its adhesive skin, it crushes and dissolves the flesh with digestive enzymes. They primarily eat adventurers and other unsuspecting creatures, but can likely survive on any organic matter. Some versions of mimics are even intelligent enough to bargain for food rather than to hunt. And as this miniature mimic enters the jar, it kind of did you pour out the jar, or did you leave the pickled flesh in the jar?
I poured out the liquid that was pickling the
Okay.
flesh, but not the flesh.
Okay. Yeah, so it kind of quickly just kind of begins sniffing at the contents of the jar, and then just kind of begins to snack on it. It has a very hearty meal. It seems well occupied.
Little buddy, normal children have like butterflies in jars, not that.
It was a tiny little pouch, though. It's tiny.
Yeah, I get it, but damn, this is weird.
It's so cute.
Right on. Moving forward, we have Mark 5, kind of hanging back and surveying the scene. Tell us what your character's up to.
Seeing that Gilzaf isn't in actually any danger or serious danger with the little mimic, I'm gonna start making my way up towards this and just kind of inspecting for anything.
Sure. Approaching that, it's a podium. And this was obviously some kind of a room for like group meetings or congregational hearings. I don't know, church meetings, cult meetings, who knows? Right behind you, there are 2 large statues of angels or cherubs or whatever in each corner of the room. So this may have at one point been some kind of a particular religious sect or religious group that owned this room and occupied this room. It's really not clear at this point whether this was always a textiles factory. It's possible that it might have been something else at one point. The altar, or rather the podium, is just kind of like a nice wooden stand. It's fairly ornately decorated, lots of carvings and whatnot. On it are what looks like just miscellaneous religious texts, different references and maybe sermon pieces and whatnot. However, they look very old. They're tattered. They're dried. They look like they would fall apart if you handled them, any more than gently. So it doesn't look like this was actually being used for any kind of a religious piece here. The individual that was standing here was just kind of using this as like a centerpiece, like so.
Just trying to make himself look important. Got it.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to investigate that whole area, the 2 statues and the podium, to just see if I find anything that's like hidden.
Sure. Okay. There is a compartment within the podium.
Okay. Can I open the compartment?
Opening that compartment. Let me see. Yeah, you do pull a small a small notebook. What looks like.
Alright. I'll
Okay.
flip through it, see if anything regarding these stones or whatnot, or dreams or anything is in there.
Yeah, so this is a little more, this notebook is far more up to date than what you see up top above the podium. This is something that's recently kind of scribbled in, and you see a list of names.
Okay.
And there's an approximate number of names as you let's just do a standard intelligence check. See what information you can garner as you put two and two together here looking through this notebook.
Alright, intelligence is only a +1. That'll be a 3.
Okay.
Oh no! If I wasn't
All right.
occupied by my mimic, I would help you.
You're a bit confused by it, but it's essentially a list of names but nothing really kind of jumps out at you.
Okay. Lastly, I want to just go through the religious texts and just see if any of them mention dreams or like a magical stone or anything, or if they're just random texts that just happen to be laying here.
Sure. Yeah, so there's they're just kind of like almost like a summary of different religious groups, different religious texts and stuff like that. It's almost like somebody had this portfolio of sermons. You see stuff from like the sovereign host, and there's information about that with some things like that for like clerics to find guidance with the sovereign host. There's information on the Dark Six, the chaotic counterpart to the sovereign host, and it's and there's some religious spirit.
Did he cut out for anyone else?
Cut out for me.
Yeah, same.
It's the Dark Six saying you can't talk about us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
You can't talk about the Dark Six.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
First rule of the Dark Six.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
You can't talk about it.
Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do.
Well, if he's not back in 2 minutes, we all gain a level. So there you go.
Yeah.
Hey! Does my mini mimic in a jar gain a level?
Would you want it to though? That's the problem.
That's
It's
true.
still a
I
baby.
don't
You
want it
can train it and condition it to be your friend if it
Now it's like
levels
a
up
little
too far
mimic
behind it.
bag.
Yeah. Well, that's what it looked like. It might not still look like that, but
Cool.
So I now have
a mimic bag.
that's so cute. I have a pickle jar with a cute little cat alien in it, which represents my baby mimic.
This is what the mimic bag looks like when in mimic form.
Nice. I like that a lot. That's super cute.
Oh, yep, the mimic box.
It's even got teeth. I don't have any
Yeah,
mimics.
it's like the inside of its mouth is all detailed too. Really cool.
Nice. Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
Leave it
Hey,
on
the
there.
teacher left. We gain a level.
he dropped. I think we
Mhm.
gain. So the cameras are gonna be messed up until Jason comes back, so everyone can just deal with that because I'm not fixing the cameras.
Who am I?
But I think we all level to level 10, actually.
Ooh.
I like this.
Mhm.
I don't know who I am. I need to figure this out.
Ooh, do I take 2 levels in cleric, 1 level in druid?
Yeah, Butter, we
2 levels in
are leveling up
rogue?
so fast. Like, you guys try to level up fast in my campaign, which I won't allow.
I don't even know what's next for druid.
I'm going to take the 3 levels for Elspeth and the 3 levels for Justice and just take both of them and give 6 levels to the incoming character.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's how the maths, yes.
Oh,
Honestly, it wouldn't be that unbalancing. Artificers are not very strong. Once you hit like they fall off so fast.
yeah.
You know, I was planning on taking Artificer Initiate as my next feat.
It's well, unless you're going to use a weapon, a lot of those
like an actual.
like an actual weapon, and maybe a suit of armor. Some of those are not as effective because of the infusions.
Oh yeah. Oh, because all the spells are infusions and stuff.
There's some useful stuff in there, but I don't remember. I'd have to look up which ones work when you don't have an actual level.
That's fair. But now I wasn't like that was like maybe I'll take it, but now it's not really one. Now I'm debating between 3 other ones. Yes, they are.
Wait, should I
you
just
can
start streaming my D&D prep for tomorrow while we wait?
Yes. Go ahead. I have no problem with you doing it.
Oh wait, Artificer Initiate doesn't even give you infusions. Never mind. It's just the spells.
Yeah, it just gives you spells.
Okay, well that's fine-ish. Their first level spells are not necessarily great.
Are there only 4 first level spells?
No, you have to change that one so that you have reprinted again, and so that PHB 24 is off, and that should clear it up.
I could take Detect Magic. That's super useful. How many do I get?
Is it?
No, one first level and 1 cantrip. Okay. It's not. It's more useful for a rogue who's trying to see if something is trapped than it is for really anything. But it's not as useful as a lot of other spells.
I know when I get to level 8 cleric, I'm gonna do Warcaster.
Nice.
That's a
Because
good one.
I have a lot of spells that can be used as like reaction.
I already have Warcaster, so I think I'm just gonna take the ability score improvement and get my charisma up. If
I take telekinesis, can I use my invisible mage hand to feed my new baby mimic?
It can only lift up to 5 pounds, so I would say almost certainly, but you can't feed the hand to your baby mimic.
No, I wouldn't feed the hand. I would use the hand to feed the baby mimic. That way the baby mimic doesn't keep dealing damage to me by biting the hand that's feeding it.
That just makes it more fun. You develop a stronger bond when you're feeding it your not blood.
That's, I don't think the mimic would be particularly interested in my body as it's made entirely of metal.
Only one way to find out.
And it's to try and feed it Xylix tail.
Hey.
Not where I was going with that, but that's fine. We can do that.
I wanted to see how those I wanted to play something that used a little bit of the psionics. So I chose the class the subclass that I did, but I really need a feat that just helps improve the subclass a little bit. I don't get very much. Just a couple of psionic
Well,
daggers.
most of the time, psionic or psychic damage is relatively powerful because most stuff
That is
doesn't
true.
have psychic resistance. Just happen to be playing the campaign where everything has psychic resistance, so you know.
That's true. I guess if we were playing a different campaign, then I would feel like I was doing more.
Oh, I remember.
With less.
I already know what my level 8 feat is supposed to be for the artificer.
Oh no, restarting router.
Isn't there a feat that allows you to cast ritual spells as an action instead of the 10-minute time lane?
There's
I'm
Ritual
thinking maybe I should
Caster,
do that as well.
which just gives you a couple of
Yeah,
Yeah, it lets you cast them as ritual. If they're it
Yeah.
lets you do ritual casting, which is to not use spell slots at the ritual rate
Yeah.
of 15 minutes.
yeah,
and it's really
it
useful
allows you
if
to pretty
like
much just add.
yeah.
You gain two spells from a spell list that can be cast ritually. They
Yeah.
still need
It
to
doesn't
cast with that
as a
timeline.
ritual. Yeah.
It doesn't increase the speed. I could have sworn it wasn't. That
Nope.
may have been a wizard trait because I remember. I'm pretty sure Caleb from Critical Role Season 2 had that ability.
There's
Do you have an idea of what subclass that would be?
it might be they did chronergy and stuff in there, so who knows.
Yeah, exactly. He was a transmutation specialist.
That's not
Could be.
yeah, that never sped up your ritual casting
Yeah.
as transmutation.
Well, maybe I'm misremembering.
What were you asking, Alex?
I could have sworn there was a spell that allowed you to increase the casting time of
Scribe.
ritual spells.
It's Order of Scribes.
Order of
Mhm.
Scribes.
I knew it was something.
So you can do that once per long rest while you're holding your book.
Yeah, that's a wizard subclass.
It is?
I like the Order of Scribes.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, Scribes was in Tasha's Cauldron.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
You know, Laura,
Yes.
would you like a really bad idea?
Ooh, we
I
love
would-
those.
You just
What?
asked the person who now has a baby mimic friend.
There's a reason I'm asking you specifically, and it is that baby mimic. So what's your int score?
My int score is always my dump stat for every character except my last one. But not this one. 13.
Okay, that's good enough. So consider taking 2 levels of wizard so you can be a Order of Scribes wizard, but the mimic is your awakened spellbook.
Ah, that's kind of cool.
Then you would have some. Then you have some spells to go with your throwing psychic knives, but
But then I would also have to learn a bunch of wizard spells.
that's fine. You only need like 6, and you only use magic missile.
That's also true. And I get a tiny quill?
Yeah.
It takes dictation too.
I have plans on multi-classing into my Order of Scribes wizard with my warlock. I have a Undying Flame warlock that allows me to add my charisma bonus to any flame spell, fire spell, or radiant spell.
Nice.
So I want to take Order of Scribes Wizard multiclass to then use my Awakened Spellbook to change the property of my spells to always be fire or radiant. And then I
Nice.
have Agonizing Blast for Eldritch Blast, so I could essentially always add my charisma bonus to every attack.
Yeah.
You have to use a wizard spell slot though, so it wouldn't impact Eldritch Blast.
Right, but what I mean is, since Eldritch
Yeah,
Blast,
no.
my invocation of Agonizing Blast already adds my charisma bonus. When
Yeah,
I change a spell from one type of damage to fire or radiant, that'll add my charisma bonus as well. So even if I cast Eldritch Blast or any other spell from that, I would essentially always be using.
Yep. But you can only do that to the spells that you're casting with the wizard spell slot. Is the one thing. You can't do it with your warlock spell slots.
Yeah, I mean, as a warlock, I'm not going to have many spell slots from them anyway. So
Oh, hey, look who's back.
be utilizing
Hey,
the wizard
just in
stuff.
time. We've leveled up twice now.
Yeah, we're level 10 now.
And Laura
And you're
has bad
muted.
ideas.
I'm a wizard
And we
now.
can't hear you.
How about now?
Yes.
Great. All right. Why are you all leveled up?
Because
you
you
weren't
followed
here.
the standard rule.
Yeah,
Was that
you
the
weren't here
deal?
to say no.
People
Oh,
was in
okay.
class after 5 minutes, so
Mm-hmm.
Right. That was in the
Yeah.
in the contract, was it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
it's in the
Sorry about that.
2024 handbook.
Right. All right. Very cool. Sorry about that. Had some
You're
technical
fine.
difficulties. Everybody should send me like suggestions for internet service providers in the Pacific Northwest, because I would like to get some better internet. It's been rather patchy lately.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sorry about that. Let me see. Give me a minute to get reset up, and we'll be back on our way. You were investigating the pamphlets and the papers and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Up on
Yeah.
the,
I don't
on
even
top
remember
of
the
the.
last thing you said.
Okay.
Before we leveled up,
Not a
yes,
problem.
that's what happened.
Before leveling up, right?
Yeah, see, I prayed
Right.
to something. Not sure what it was that I prayed to, but they gave me level ups in exchange for
Weird.
some pretty cool powers, so
Mm-hmm.
Level ups, huh?
yeah.
Uh-huh. Interesting. Well, we'll see
And
how that
Mark-
plays
Mark
out.
5
Maybe
shared
it
with
was-
your friends.
Maybe it was a deity, maybe it was my patron. Who knows?
Hmm. Who knows?
Who knows?
Hard to say, right? Yeah, we'll see.
Does
We'll
it
see.
matter?
No.
All right. So yeah, you were basically, it's just a bunch of pamphlets. It's like a big collection of sermons and stuff that's sitting on top of that pulpit. Sovereign Host, Dark Six, Silver Flame, the Blood of Vol, Path of Light, all those different like groups, and it's almost like somebody just kind of compiled a list of these things, and they're all very, very old and very tattered.
The Eberron Universalist Church.
Something like that, right? It's the non-denominational denomination of Eberron, apparently. They're compatible with all beliefs and faiths,
But like old.
but very old, indeed. All right, Mark 5. Anything else you want to find there? You want to look that? You did find a notebook containing some names, right?
Yeah,
But we weren't really able to discern what it was all about, right?
right. So I'm gonna return to the group, but if the group was up to anything while I was doing this, we can go back to them. Otherwise, I'm handing the book to Elsbeth.
Okay.
Wow.
Elspeth,
She's
Mark
leaving.
5 presents you with a with a small notebook.
Elspeth is bewildered by this turn of events, but does at least give the book a courtesy glance.
Yeah.
Is there a roll there, or is it just a book?
It's a notebook, and at first glance, you just kind of look through it, and it's just a big list of names.
Well, I don't know what to do with this sort of thing, so you want to just let the tiny one look at it? It seems to have an interest in that sort of thing.
Okay. Gee. It gives like a bow and then goes over to Mini Robot and hands over the journal.
Elspeth, realizing what she has just done, yells from across the room, "If you find anything interesting in that, please share it with the group this time."
Oh, it's interesting. And in here, what's this? Names? I would like to roll to see if I know anything about these names. Was it just a intelligence?
Yeah. Initially, just like a quick intelligence check.
Sorry. I'm not actually of the spy background, so I don't have any features.
You can't do it as a bonus action.
Can't do it as a bonus action either. Different character. 11.
Okay. All right. The biggest thing you notice is that there is, kind of quickly like analyzing it. The biggest thing you notice is there's a matching amount of names on that list as there were people in this congregation. About 20 names or so.
Sorry, I'm scarfing food.
That's right.
The guy that had a mimic in his pocket.
Yeah.
Did his clothes have like, please return to, or like his mom wrote his name on the tag?
No, they said
I want to look.
Monday.
Yeah.
See if he wrote his name in his underwear or something.
Right, something like that. So we can find some ID.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Oh yeah. ID. Most people carry like identification. That's right.
Okay. You kind of rifling through because you were only able to check one pocket, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Based on what you can find, we'll put it to the dice. Okay, so yeah, you find a wallet.
Yay.
With just some basic ID in it. Looks like this person's name was Veltris D. Kundarak.
Viltris D. Kundarak. Is that
Yep.
name in this list?
Can you write that into the chat so we can?
So you can have that.
Great idea.
Yep. Here we go.
Ooh, nice.
Like so.
Is that name in this list of names?
It is.
I will share that with the class.
I will also copy and paste it into our stream chat.
All right. And based on what you can tell from the ID and just different papers or whatever he has within him, his personal effects, looks like he might have been a dwarven inquisitor from the Moor Holds. Definitely a member of House Kundarak.
All of that information is going into my definitely secret spy stash.
Okay. You got it. Is anybody else here of House Kundarak? Okay. All right, good enough. But yeah, it looks like he was involved in. It might have been some kind of he was an inquisitor of some sort. And anyway, it says that they might have been an inquisitor or like an investigator or something of that kind. That's what you can tell so far.
Was this guy a dwarf? I thought he was like a human or elven.
No, that was the guy in charge. I'm just rifling through a random guy's pocket.
Oh.
Yeah.
This was the guy that had the mimic. It looks like this was a dwarven inquisitor from the Warholds, a member of House Kunderic, probably conducting some kind of an investigation of sorts. But how he ended up being one of the quote-unquote taken ones, right, is kind of a mystery. At some point, he was taken over by whatever it is that is possessing these people.
Does he? Okay, in further pockets, because now I'm interested in this guy. Does he have notes on his investigation?
Looking deeper through, rifling deeper, you do find some notes. Looks like just some story that you're able to kind of piece together, but you're able to kind of figure out, this was definitely somebody who was involved in arcane forensic investigation. They would probably be somebody who was, someone who would track down thieves, frauds, people who attempt to breach Kunderic vaults, people who, just kind of somebody like an enforcement arm of House Kunderic. But the other thing that you realize, looking through these details, is that it looks like at some point, some of these things, some of the credentials and things like that are out of date. They haven't checked into their house in quite some time.
Old information. Not as worthful. Still worth something. I'm gonna also tuck that information away.
Right.
Are any of the names on the list like similar to any of the people that we're investigating?
No. Well, actually, there is one. Yeah. Mayweather Westloon's name is on this list. The member of the Arcane. Yep, the member of the Arcane Council. However, she was not found among the congregation.
Wait, and whose house did we go to?
Brendan
Faywild's.
Brendan Faywild's. Yes, thank you. Well, it seems like we know she's involved in this giant thing somehow. I'm gonna let everybody know all of this stuff while tucking all of this information away in my little definitely secret spy satchel.
Okay.
And also tapping the glass on my mimic jar.
Okay. Right.
And attempting to be friends with it.
Okay. As you look through the jar, you can see the little miniature mimic and it's sleeping. It's just kind of, breathing rather rapidly and shallowly as sleep does. Its tongue is kind of hanging out. It's had a very hearty meal. Tapping the glass doesn't seem to elicit any kind of a response from it.
It does elicit a response from Justice that was like, normally they tell you not to tap on the glass because it disturbs the creatures. So,
you
might want to tone it down a little.
I'm going to pat the glass in apology, but my hand is made of metal, so I'm just tapping the glass more.
Tink, 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 tink. Right?
I should have seen that one coming on.
You really should have.
Right? I was going to say the name Mayweather Westloon is found on that list. And for those that Mayweather Westloon was actually one of the names that was given to you guys to investigate and to try and visit. For background, Westloon was a member of the Arcane Council, someone who kind of sits in office and dictates policy and has things like that kind of happen. And she just kind of went nuts at some point. She just started babbling and just kind of just kind of went batty, and was kind of put on leave for that.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yep. And we haven't investigated her location just yet. But she lives in an apartment in Fairhaven, in one of the other districts. Okay. All right. Who's been silent for a bit? Xylek, tell us what you're up to. You're standing outside the room there, looking out.
Yes. So I originally I had gone to the door just to keep an eye on things, and then we had the interaction with the mimic. So I went to there, and then I'm back to just kind of scanning the rest of the room, seeing if there's any other activity that may have been alerted from the scuffle that we just had. I'll even just start walking down this
Okay.
direction,
Okay.
exploring the rest of the basement.
Okay.
Buddy.
Yeah. So you see here the stairs that you came down. That led to this big, like a large corridor or whatnot, and that kind of leads to. You can see this. This opens up to a larger hallway, in that direction, to the east, and opposite that wall, you see what looks like storage. Just a spot on the other side where it's just a bunch of storage barrels, crates, and whatnot.
Oh, down here, I see.
Like so. And so yeah, so there's a corridor leading this way. It looks like no other doors that way. And then back through this way, this leads to like another walkway, another door on this side.
And I don't hear any other activity or scuffling of feet or claws or anything. Any other?
No, it's just silent right now.
All right, cool.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna keep exploring.
Yeah.
I'll check
Okay.
down this hallway area.
Okay. Looking to the south of that hallway, you see it opens up. Let me see here. Grab the right tool.
Oh, you did it.
Like so. That leads down a corridor leading to the south. The rest of that basement, and there appears to be at the very southern end, just like more storage, and there are doors that line this corridor as well.
All right. Well, seeing as there's plenty more exploring to do, I'll group back up with my party and
Okay.
just tell them that so far it seems like the coast is clear. Not a lot going on, just lots of other rooms to explore.
Okay. Inside this room, there's a door here and a door here, where Elsbeth is standing. Elsbeth, are you checking out that door?
He sure is, and by checking out, I mean opening.
All right. Gonna pop that door open.
You're not just interested in if this is the Ted Johns store or not?
No,
Right?
not even interested in whether it's trapped or locked. I'll find that out the hard way.
Just gonna pop it open.
Yeah.
All right. It's not
It's a
locked
mimic.
nor trapped.
I've had to deal with a mimic door before, and I shanked it with a knife. As a wizard.
Nice.
Not bad. All right, popping that door open. This appears to be some kind of an office. There's a fairly thick layer of dust throughout this room. Books, a desk, a place for sitting and pondering. There's bookshelves, things like that. This looks like maybe some kind of an administrator's office. Very old, but it also kind of looks. A lot of the texts and things like that seem to look religious in nature.
Well, we are rummaging. We are going to just go do a quick once through this room looking for anything interesting or out of place or whatever. I assume that's investigation, and surprising even me, I have that as a skill.
Okay,
Hmm.
you got
Do you need
it.
assistance with
And
it?
yeah,
Can I come give you assistance with it?
um,
I saw you wandering away.
probably not unless you ran really fast, because Elspeth has she has places to be.
Oh, well, I was already headed in your direction.
But it looks like there's chests there, so she will at least
Mhm.
attempt to open those.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming
bet.
that 7 is not worth much for an investigation roll.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. You can check the chests. Let's see. They are both locked.
I'm on my way.
There you go.
Well,
When you arrive, you see Elspeth clearly about to, or trying to determine whether or not she's about to unleash hot fury on these chests.
Okay.
I'm gonna
There you
I'm gonna
go.
run up to them and jiggle them, and also notice that they're locked and attempt to lockpick them.
I'll cast guidance on Gilda.
Ooh. Oh wait, I don't need
Yeah.
2 dice. I can't roll this as a bonus action.
Which one are you working on?
No.
The one that you just tried to open could not, and then we're looking at an
Then Elspeth turns to the other one and begins to cast Ray of Frost on the lock.
Oh no!
Okay.
I'll get one lock. I have a nice 18 plus 4 is a lot.
22. Okay. For popping the lock on the chest, right?
The one that Elspeth is not casting Ray of Frost.
Okay. This one here. All right. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. The two of you actually, let me back up a little bit to that moment. Elsbeth, you see the lock and you immediately have the thought process of casting Ray of Frost. That's when you notice Gilzaf coming in and starting to mess around with the lock, and you just get this sense that, you know what, I could probably pop this lock.
Well, that's why she was going to shoot the one that Gilzaf didn't start working.
Right?
But
It kind of occurs to you, like, you know, I bet I could do this faster, and it just becomes this competition, right? Gilzaf, you come up and you see this. You see Elsbeth starting to go at it with a Ray of Frost, and you think maybe I could probably pop this lock faster than Elsbeth.
competition.
All right. So let's see, and it just kind of turns into this little competition, right? Give me a quick dexterity check from both of you.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, you may have better, because I rolled really terribly.
Okay.
5 plus 4 is less than that one.
Okay. So 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
9.
And Elsbeth, 13, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So the two of you just begin kind of like quickly going at it, speaking the incantation for Ray of Frost just as fast as you possibly can, and then and Gilzaf trying to work the trinkets of the locks and stuff, finding that, and then popping the lock. Elsbeth freezes the lock and shatters it just about a half a second faster than Gilzaf, and you both kind of look at each other like there wasn't really a competition there, but there wasn't there?
And I lost.
Elspeth is keenly aware of that, but she is too superior to even acknowledge it.
I may like Gilzaf may pout a little bit, but like not for like serious, you know.
Okay. Right. All right. Popping those locks and opening up in the contents of the chests. The one that Elsbeth is opened up appears to be a bunch of little personal effects. There's a you find a it's like a little glass case, kind of like you know those clocks that are entirely encased in glass domes, those old time clocks. They have like the spinning spheres on the bottom and stuff. It's kind of like that, except instead of a clock, it's a chrysanthemum inside the glass. It's kind of interesting. It's perfectly well preserved. It looks like it's in bloom. You also find a conch shell.
Ooh.
Ooh, listen to it. Maybe you'll be able to hear the ocean.
Okay.
Now who's
let's see.
wait, whose chest is this in? Is this in Elspeth's?
This is in Elsbeth's.
Okay.
Okay. Let me see. You also find an echo pearl.
Ooh, that's actually useful.
Uh-huh. Okay.
What's that?
It's a pearl that echoes.
The pearl that echoes.
Did I know what that is?
You might.
What's your word?
Let me see here. Let's see. So it's kind of it's a mystical item that will restore. It will store and repeat audio recordings, basically. It's so you can kind of talk into it. You can hold it up in a certain way and speak a certain incantation sometimes, or just kind of hold it up, and bond with it a little bit, or attune to it, and then you can record an audio message or a sound, and then pass that on, and it will play that sound for other people.
I bet you can make it sound like you're not actually home alone and that your parents are there.
Right?
Mm.
like that kid in Home Alone with his little cassette voice recorder thing.
Yeah, it records the movie off the TV. Plays
Exactly.
it in the shower.
Yep.
And to get his pizza.
Oh yeah, that's right. Kate,
Yes, indeed.
Healthy animal.
Gilzaf, in your chest, you find a single large leather-bound notebook, and it's filled with writing in a language that you're not sure that you're familiar with. What languages do you speak, Gilzaf?
Gilzaf speaks in a couple of languages. I'm stalling for time while I get up my languages that I speak.
Right.
I speak Common, Gnomish, Goblin, and Thieves' Cant.
Okay. All right. So this is a language you definitely do not recognize, and it looks like it was written very, very quickly. Like it was just kind of scribbled out. Some things. Sometimes there's like a nice calligraphy, piece to writings like these. It's kind of an expensive notebook. It's nice paper. This stuff was just scribbled, and it's in a language you're not sure that you recognize. But there's quite a bit of it. It's a thick notebook and it's filled with writings. It's been rifled through and used pretty recently, actually. As you look at it, this looks like maybe a fairly new notebook, maybe purchased within the last few months. The wear on it and whatnot just suggests that it was picked up and it was written in very quickly, and it was been used and pretty referred to pretty often.
I am going to toss that over to Xylek. Hey, you spoke in a funky fancy language that I am unaware of the language that you spoke in. Do you recognize this language?
I'll pick it up and take a look, see.
Okay. Yeah, languages that you speak?
Common, Druidic, Draconic, and Sylvan.
Yeah. There's not really. There's some overlap a little bit. You think you might recognize some stuff a little bit here and there. You recognize certain you might recognize certain words. You recognize the word telepathics, Riedra, inspired, nightmares. That's it. It's some other language, but it seems to overlap a little bit with Sylvan, but you're not certain.
Well, it doesn't look like it's anything that I can read quite fluently, but there's certain words and phrases that I can see that somewhat make sense. The Sylvan tongue, there's very similar sounding words and spellings, but not entirely one-to-one.
Interesting.
I can recognize these certain words: telepathic, inspired, nightmares. There's definitely a theme that seems to be throughout this entire textile factory. all concerning these Lucidia stones and psionic abilities or
Mhm.
mind dealings. Well, it all
Well,
has
that is
some
helpful.
sort of connection. Um, there's still quite a bit left to this place that we need to
Mhm,
search through, but
Mhm.
perhaps we can find some sort of code or. I mean, it seems like it's just in a different, it's not in
and a code.
coded
Well,
or hidden.
I will pocket it as evidence because we are, in fact, investigating for the police, and they might need evidence. Maybe they can decode it.
Perhaps the detective fellow, that dwarf fellow that
Mhm.
rummaged through. Perhaps we can get in touch with them as well. Maybe they have some sort of light to shed upon this cult.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, looking into it, it just seems like they got ensnared by whatever
Mhm.
mind altering spell that they have here.
And looking
You
about
said
the
it
room.
was.
Go ahead.
You said it was related to Sylvan, but it was not
Yeah.
Sylvan.
Yeah,
correct?
it's not Sylvan. It looks like maybe there was some phonetic overlap, but it's not quite Sylvan.
I don't know this because, well, no, Elspeth doesn't know this, but
Mhm.
Gilzef, you said you don't speak Elven, correct?
Yeah, no, I speak Gnomish.
Okay. Do you have an int score and a history of knowing how languages are related? Because Elven and Sylvan typically use the same alphabet.
Mhm.
Oh,
And I don't know if that's something Gilzef would know from being a spy. I know Elspeth has no reason to know it.
Mhm.
my int score is a 13, and although I am observant.
Okay.
That's up to you if there's a potential there. Because Elspeth does speak Elven, but she has no reason to know that that might be useful.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, if Elsbeth is looking over the notebook at all, you might recognize some. You might recognize some words.
I assume that was
I'll hand it
not
over.
happening.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I'd hand it because like I mean I'm assuming like this is important information. I assume because it's got some stuff dealing with things that we're dealing with. So
Yeah,
I
and it's
guess
definitely.
even if I didn't know that you knew that Elvish and Sylvan had any sort of overlap, I feel like I would still try to pass it off to the other party members to
Mhm.
maybe you know.
Yeah, it's definitely something significant. This notebook was pretty heavily, I guess heavily like I don't know, heavily guarded, but it was in a locked chest in a fairly significant room. In an area where that was obviously there was like doctrine or whatever being instilled or whatever here. But this is like a key component. This thing has some answers in it. It's just in a language that nobody really seems to perfectly understand.
Mhm.
Well, I'll hand it off to Mark V and also Elspeth, as maybe
Elspeth
you
thinks handing
recognize
it to
it.
Mark 5 is the smart thing, but
You know, because I don't know that it's related either, really.
Yeah.
Mark 5 like just quickly skims over it, realizes they can't read it, and then hands it over to Elsbeth.
Yeah.
why do I keep ending up with these things?
There's something interesting though when Mark V gazes on this notebook. You're correct. You can't read it, but
Yeah,
it's a little
my two languages will not equal this.
right. But there's something else here. It's strange. It's kind of like it's a like you cannot read it, but it's not really like not necessarily a language that you don't know. It's almost like there's an access to that language that is blocked. It's like you don't feel like it's a different feeling from like saying I don't really know that language, rather than saying there's something stopping me from knowing that language. if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Almost like an access control is in place in your thought processes.
Interesting.
So yeah, I'll like take a minute, like trying to figure out how to access that part, but come to the conclusion that whatever had happened to me must have blocked a signal.
Uh-huh.
And then I'll hand it over to like Elsbeth to look at.
Okay. All right, you got it. Elsbeth wanting to take a look at this?
Yes, since everyone just keeps insisting that she look at it, she's like, oh, fine, look at your stupid book.
She looks at it and says, I don't know what this says.
The only thing Elspeth speaks that no one else has mentioned is the Elven and then Primordial.
Ooh,
Okay.
fancy.
Mine is common and deep speech.
That's
I just wanted something weird.
Right?
why I picked Goblin.
Goblin's good. That's what most of the monstrous humanoids speak in Eberron.
Yeah,
Right.
that's why I picked it.
Mental note. Insert goblins.
Goblin, like the goblin language is what is used for like even most of the orcs and everything too.
All right. Okay. Elsbeth looking over this notebook, you know, kind of like Xylek, you recognize certain phonetics and certain references. Even some words kind of jump out a little bit. Path of inspiration. Riedra. Controlled faith. Obedient. Let's see. Psionic nightmares. That's about it. That's what you're able to pull from that. Nothing real super conclusive, just certain words that jump out at you. But without a direct translation, it might be difficult to ascertain exactly what this notebook is saying.
Hey, you know what?
So-
We are in Eberron, and
Mhm.
and we're in a city in Eberron, and I bet
Mhm.
I'm gonna not say that we're in Eberron because obviously we're in Eberron, but we're in a city, and I bet there's somebody who can cast detect language.
Okay.
Or even translate
Indeed.
in the city.
Yeah, one of the nice things about the realm of Eberron is that there's a lot of resources, right? There's a lot of conveniences and whatnot. Lots of low-level magic that helps with different day-to-day tasks, right? It's kind of a cool, kind of a nice convenience that you have here. The rest of the room looks pretty bare. There are lots of old religious texts and things like that. A thick layer of dust over just about everything. Whatever happened here, it looks like it was more about what was in the chests rather than what was happening elsewhere. What's up?
So this desk is pretty heavily covered in dust, not really
Uh-huh.
used.
It is.
I am going to write something kind of rude and crass in Goblin
There you go.
in the
Right.
dust.
All right.
Just-
You're welcome. I
speaks
use the
that.
language. What?
Justice speaks Goblin. That's the only other thing he speaks, and he watches you do that and goes, "That's your language, little man."
Right. Looks over to see Gilzoff writing the word boobs in Goblin and giggling. Right.
Yes.
There you go. Right. Either that or a
I
really
just
rude
want-
message. Right.
I just want like that to have happened like somewhere, and then like a group of adventurers come by, like before a layer of dust covers that, and go, "Whoa, what is this cryptic message?" Because none of them speak Goblin.
Yep. That's awesome. Actually, I had to mention that happened the other night. There was some people were trying to get through a door, and there was a message on the door. It was in some language they didn't know. They found out it was Draconic, and they were trying to like pushed through the door, putting all their weight on that, trying to ram it to get that thing to open, and it just would not happen. They finally translated what was the draconic message on it. It said pull. It was great. Anyway,
Hey, what's the draconic for friend?
right? I don't know what draconic. I know Elvish, or wait, Dwarven, right? Belrock.
I think that's Elvish. Belloc is Elvish.
Right? Makes sense. All right, so you get a sense that this room is covered. That notebook is definitely significant.
Pocketed.
All right. So these are large double doors that hang open. They open up into this chapel or sanctuary place. To the south, there's this door that leads to that main corridor where you guys came in. There's a door on the other side of the room here that hasn't yet been explored, and then other doors to the south as well.
I'm gonna make my way across the chamber.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow you
Okay.
as I go through a wall.
Right.
And I'll test open the door, see if
Okay.
it's locked.
Okay. The door doesn't appear to be locked. Yeah, it the handle moves freely.
Right. I'll go ahead and open it.
Okay.
Really, like it's got teeth, or now I think
What's that?
everything's a mimic.
Everything's a mimic. Not yet, but soon. Right. All right. Scanning the room, it looks like it might have been a storage place. There's some crates, barrels, a couple of chests in the back, some bags containing something, and some old pallets along the side there. Looks like it was just a storage room. Might be worth inspecting and investigating. Who knows?
I'm gonna cast detect.
So detect what?
And I'm just gonna start scanning. Sense. Yeah, I'm gonna cast it. I'm just gonna use a spell slot to do it. I've got plenty to spare.
Okay.
So I'll cast detect magic and just kind of like do a look over of the room, see if anything pops up within 30 feet of my sense.
Okay.
All
right. And that was detect magic. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
all right. Right. What are you doing? Someone's drawing on the screen.
That's the corpse of the guy that we killed immediately. That's the helpful guy that we killed before he could be helpful.
Right.
That's on the other floor.
Dragged him all the way. How'd he get down there? Right.
This way.
Dragged him all the way down there. Right.
Yeah, you said there was a pallet, so I figured he needed a little place to rest.
Right. Needed a proper lay to rest. Right. Yeah, for those watching from home, there was I did put in an NPC to help the party through this adventure a little bit. Someone who might be able to provide some answers. Yeah, they chose violence, and they blew that guy away before he could move. So that's kind of right. In a way, I blame myself. I've been throwing too many monsters at you guys, right?
In the shape of people.
In the shape of people. Yep, that makes sense. I understand there's some trust issues there, right? All right, this looks like a regular storage room. Might be worth investigating things. Might prove trivial. No magic is detected right now.
I will come and help you on an investigation. Whack.
Okay.
Now you have advantage.
Right.
Oh. All right. Yeah. I'll investigate. Just scurrying through the random bits and bobs, see if there's anything of interest.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see.
My help looks like, hey, you should check that. Hey, you should check that. Hey, what about that?
Yeah, for sure. The crates, the barrels, the bags, they all contain materials for textiles. It looks like this is just an old supply where they store some supplies and things like that. The chests contain what looks like work clothes and protective gear for dealing with like chemicals for coloring textiles and emulsifiers and things like that. Like protective smocks and whatnot.
All right.
And that's about it in that room.
Are there any Wait, are there gloves?
No gloves, as it were. Just like protective aprons, things like that. Heavy leather aprons, and like oiled leather overcoats and
But
things like that.
Nothing to protect your hands from dyes or anything like that.
Yeah, nothing protect your hands
Or
from
baby
dyes
mimics.
or baby mimics. Yep. Or teeth that bite. Yep, nothing like that. Mhm.
Okay. That's all.
Elsbeth standing at the door at this room.
She is increasingly impatient and is just going to like fling the door open, take a quick look. If there's not something that looks like a potentially like important storage chest, she's going to just move on down the hallway, just throw them all up.
Right. Yeah. Throwing the door open impatiently, looking to get through this. You look, scanning the room, you see a couple of wagon wheels in one corner, some crates, and what looks like a warforged.
Does
Who the hell are you?
pop up on my detect magic?
Okay. No magic detected.
Does it respond when she asks who the hell it is?
It does not. It's standing there like this.
Okay, well,
Oh.
good news, everyone. Elspeth still has cantrips.
Hey!
Yeah.
Does it like lightning? Elspeth is going to just straight up try to jumpstart it with lightning lure.
Okay.
As you're
Try to
doing
breathe some
that,
life.
does it look anything like Mark V?
It looks somewhat
Yeah,
like Mark V,
that's the
actually.
same question.
Do
Yeah.
I
I
like, get any familiarity just looking at it?
Not necessarily. No real familiar. Only in that you recognize like some of the markings and some of the emblems and the style of the armor and whatnot.
Can I recognize make and model?
You do. I don't know a lot about makes and models of
I mean-
Warforged, but you do get, yeah. It's a 1989 Toyota Corolla. No,
Yeah.
it's a but yeah,
Look,
but you
it's
do.
a Transformer!
What
It's a
mark is
transformer.
it?
Yep.
Is it Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 6?
Right. It's the same. Yeah, it's about the
Or
same manufacturer.
5.5?
And the same like. Right. It's yeah. It's about the same manufacturer, same same as you. Most likely like under the same like level of creation and whatnot. Is it kind of a mystery about the Warforged, about where they were, how they were created, where they came from? Is that right?
The House Cannith made them,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
how, I think, is a protected secret as far as I understand.
Okay.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah. But there are some real similarities between this Warforged and yourself, Mark V.
Cool.
Now let's get Elspeth to wake him up.
Oh, she was already doing that while you all were doing this. Like, she is not. There is no hesitation. You have to
Yeah,
understand.
Exactly.
I pretty
Right.
much like
Okay.
I saw it and I like just quickly like looked at it and seen if anything seemed familiar like right before
Mhm.
she jump started.
Okay. Yeah. Just just looking at it, the only real familiarity that you see is just like the markings and the style of manufacture. It looks like it just kind of like you could have come from the same basic place. Elsbeth, you gonna bolt this thing?
I'm going to yoink it with electricity and then zap it for 12 volts or 12 volts, I guess.
Okay. You bet. Yeah. So it doesn't seem to respond so much to the electricity. You let out with that with that arc, and it just kind of it reverberates. Its whole body kind of like shakes and quivers with the electricity, and just pops everything just kind of comes loose, and it kind of loses its stature a little bit when you're done. And there's this, its head kind of starts to hang, and this little compartment opens up, and something kind of pops out, like a little cartridge of some kind.
Ooh.
Pop.
That looks
I'm gonna yoink it.
disgusting.
I want to see what it is.
Excuse me, I'm
Yeah.
closer.
I investigate it.
I like take you by the head and then like push
Yeah.
you back as I reach for it.
You can totally
Yeah.
do that because your arm length is probably longer than
Oh,
my
yeah.
entire body.
Just like
Pop. All right. Yeah, reaching forward, you grab this thing. It's like a little cartridge of some kind. Probably used to hold information, to hold data, directives, functions, abilities, languages, whatever else. It's kind of cool.
Okay, I'll hand it to Gilzef.
Okay.
No.
I just want to examine it
Yeah.
first.
That's fair.
Before
let me see.
Gilzef steals anything, just want to examine it.
Sure.
Yeah.
You kind of, yeah, and then you get this inkling, this notion. You're not sure if you want to explore that or not, but you kind of like instinctively reach up to your own neck, and you feel like what looks like a compartment there as well. Handed that to Gilzef.
I'm gonna
Yes.
real quick, I wanna like, can I open that compartment on myself?
No, don't kill yourself.
You can will it to just it's just like a little panel that pops open.
Yeah, so I'm gonna will it to open, and I just want to see if I have any programming there, or if that slot
Yeah.
is empty.
Ooh.
That slot is empty right now.
Okay.
Not anymore. Wait.
I'm gonna close it and consider that for a
Dang it,
second.
missed it.
Okay.
Oh, you can do it
Yeah.
if you want.
Well, I know it. Yeah, it's up. I mean, you recognize it as some kind of an interface where where information can be exchanged, data can be passed through, directives, functions, skills, whatever, things like that. It's basically like an interface where that can be
Yeah.
can be used.
I want to
Uh-huh.
contemplate whether I want to do that because
No,
I'm
nothing.
trying to think
Yeah.
whether or not that would change me in any way.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
anything about Warforged since I'm actually not one. So don't let me actually do that, but I will give you back the chip. And examine the Warforged. Does the Warforged, on further examination, appear other than the chip that we just yoinked out of it and the lightning damage it just took? Deactivated, or is it able to be turned on?
Sorry, what was that? One more time. I was reading B
Oh, you're
Spouse's message. But yeah.
Is the Warforged, other than the chip we took out and the lightning damage it took, like deactivated, or is it able to be turned on in any way? Like, or does it seem like, yeah, this is just like a toss to the side?
Yeah, it looks completely unresponsive. It's if it's possible to reactivate it, it would take quite a bit of work as you look at it. Maybe it's central power mechanism, its central power core, whatever, is completely shot. This usually, but what does kind of strike you is that this happens. A Warforged, without being utterly destroyed in battle or blown apart or whatever, for a Warforged to just kind of be deactivated like that, this usually happens on purpose of some way. Like someone wanted to deactivate this Warforged, ripped out its power core, fried its internal circuits or whatever.
How would they do that?
Do Warforged see in the dark?
I don't know.
No,
If they have dark vision, right?
I don't. If
No, they don't?
They have
Okay.
dark vision. If this particular model has like dark vision eye inputs, maybe, but general Warforged do not.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No dark vision. Generally. So yeah, it looks like it's totally irresponsive. Sorry, what was that, Zylek?
No, I was just saying more pieces to the puzzle.
Right? Okay. Yeah, and it looks like somebody deactivated this Warforged.
Does it also look like it has pockets?
You never know, right? Let's put it to dice.
Look, it's got pockets.
It's got some storage compartments that popped open when Elsbeth electrocuted it. Just popped it open.
I'm looking for spare parts for Mark V, of course. Definitely not any other nefarious purposes.
Yeah. You find a small tin in one of those compartments. It's like a little round tin, about the size of a shoe polish container, maybe a little smaller.
Does it say anything on it?
Yes, it says lip balm.
Yes, lip balm. Okay, I'm gonna pocket that.
Right. According to the trinkets menu.
Is it like a solidified oil to like?
Yeah,
I don't
popping it
know.
open. It's like a red ointment kind of stuff, and it smells faintly of strawberry.
Aw.
And
I'm gonna put some on
petroleum.
my eyes because I don't have lips. So
There you go. All right, your eyes feel greasy and well moisturized.
nice. Okay, we can continue
Okay.
on now.
All right.
Mark V, are you okay? Like, are you okay?
Why would I not be okay?
Because the Warforged is like looks like it could be your cousin.
I'm gonna walk up to the Warforged and look on the back of the neck to see if it has the same House Cannith stamp on its neck.
Mm-hmm. Same stamp. House Kenneth.
Is your cousin.
I don't think I knew this one personally.
Do you want his lip balm?
I'm gonna look at it. Does it seem like some kind of like oil or something for the limbs, like some kind of grease for the limbs, or does it look like lip balm?
It looks like lip balm. Yep.
It is
That's
on the top of my eye sockets. They look moisturized.
They look moisturized, right?
I'll take it.
There we go.
Okay. And who got the cartridge?
I have the cartridge
Narcon
again.
has it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still contemplating what I want to do with it. So
Okay.
I'm going to just kind of like store it for now, not insert it.
Okay. All right, you
After
got
that touching moment of robots not having human emotions, Gilsop just leaves.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. Popping open. Let's see. Elsbeth looking to look into that other room.
Xylek, I think, was moved on first.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. We do it at the same
Xylek.
time.
Okay. All right. We'll start with this one. Xylek. Inside this room are two large vats used for holding some form of liquid. Might be wine. Might be might be water. Might be mayonnaise. Hard to tell.
Ooh, there's a whole lot of mayonnaise. Any magic to detect?
No magic.
Okay.
Then it's only one of those, and not a jar.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Running away, Xylek?
Yeah, there's nothing too interesting in there. If I don't detect any magic and I suspect what these barrels are used for, I'm not gonna.
Okay.
Unless somebody else in the group wants to gather whatever is in there.
Mm-hmm.
No. I've wasted enough of the group's time by getting lip balm.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? Can I investigate these casts to see if they've been like maybe something is hiding in one of them? Like if
You can.
somebody's like manipulated them to
Yeah.
try and hide something in them?
Yeah. Tell me how you're investigating real quick. How are you gonna what do you want to do to determine that?
So originally, I'll approach the casks, just admiring the woodwork and
Get water.
the craftsmanship, and then seeing as this whole place has hidden bodies and barrels and
Mhm.
deactivated Warforged characters and all these locked chests and stuff, and like all this conspiracy that's going on, just like this itch in the back of my scaled head bothers me, and I go to investigate to see if maybe like these are large casks. You can probably fit bodies in
Okay.
there, and
True.
I'll just oh, I might as well cover all my bases and go and investigate.
Okay.
They're full of corpses. No, just kidding. I don't
Okay. Yeah. So investigating those things, you don't find anything. You don't find any indication that they might be holding bodies or no big panels or whatever. There's a big hole in the top for adding liquid. But they do seem to be filled with something.
All right. Can I? Are they filled enough that I can reach in and like grab a handful, a scoop, and
could.
bring it to my lips?
Yeah, you
Right.
can. Okay, and that's what you do, right? You reach in and right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Give me a little bit of a just kind of a Constitution saving throw, real quick.
Uh, 16.
Okay. Unfortunately, you scooped up a whole handful and just ingested it, right?
Mhm, mhm.
I
Okay.
would lick my tongue out and lick at it. I wouldn't take all the whole thing.
Okay. Just licked it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Not too bad. Still a fail on the save, but it's not gonna kill you, thankfully. The first thing you notice is you start to feel extremely lightheaded. Just ridiculously lightheaded. And like, have you ever been put under general anesthetic? Anybody ever had that? Okay.
Yeah.
That feeling that you get that in those moments just before you go under, where you just kind of stop caring about anything in the world and just kind of go to sleep. That's kind of what happens. You just immediately just kind of drop to the floor. Justice, you hear a thud behind you. As you turn, you look to see this poor lizard folk person just kind of conked out on the floor. There's an odd smell in the room that just kind of rises up. You didn't really notice it before, but it's very faint. Give me a quick nature check, Justice.
Ooh, geez.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck, everyone else.
All right. Yeah. Good enough. You smell torpor. It's an ingested poison. It causes the target to be poisoned for, let's see, usually in the neighborhood of 46 hours on a normal dose. Let's see. So yeah, he's going to be out for a while, but the individual is incapacitated and just in this like in a sleep state. Topor is snoring loudly and just completely knocked out.
Justice is gonna drag him out of the room,
Uh-huh.
and then expend a little bit of the old lay on hands juice to attempt to remove the poison.
Okay.
I'm gonna come stand by you and be like, "What are you doing? What happened?"
Yeah, I can do that. That'll take 5 points of lay on hands to do it.
Okay. Let's see. That is so you can heal wounds. You pull a healing power that replenishes. Can it remove poisons?
That's the third paragraph. Right?
Third paragraph down. You can expend 5 points. Gotcha. Healing to cure the target of one disease or neutralize one poison affecting it. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, Xylek, you were just kind of pulled into this deep sleep. And you just slowly the light begins to kind of spill back into your eyes, and you kind of blink. While you see Justice and Gilzaf kind of towering over you. And Justice's hands glow just a little bit having cast lay on hands, and you kind of put two and two together and figure out what just happened. And as you look up, you look back at these vats, and you realize they're both just filled to the brim with topor.
Yeah, don't lick weird stuff is my suggestion.
I wasn't expecting it to be that strong. Ugh.
Yeah, I did that once in college, and yeah.
Well, I think we found out how they're getting everybody into their unconscious states. Ugh.
Well, if this is a cult of torpor addicts, not it, because that's weird.
Yeah. So wherever it fits in that puzzle, it's not real clear. But obviously, somebody has been using this stuff, has been storing a large amount of this stuff to get people to fall asleep. And it seems like within that dreamlike state, that's where things kind of happen. That's where people seem to become a little bit vulnerable to whatever effects are being propagated by this group of antagonists. More answers to follow. Only a few rooms to explore in this level, and then we'll have and then it'll be up to the party where they want to go next, or which location they want to explore next. And we will pick this up in just one short week, where we will meet back here, same bat time, same bat channel. And thank you all. Does anybody need to have any questions or anything they want to do or accomplish real quick before we close out for the night?
No, I'll just stagger back up to my feet.
Still waking up?
Yeah, get my head on straight.
You got it.
Out of character,
All right.
I'm probably going to wait until Scott's new character comes in to play around with getting that chip inserted in me.
Okay.
What a great idea!
Let
Right?
them experiment on me, not myself.
There you go. Leave it in the hands of a professional, right?
Exactly.
For those that don't know, we do have some character swap outs here coming soon, and B Spouse will be coming in with an artificer, which will be pretty useful in this campaign. That'll be really great. As a DM, I'm kind of a big fan of allowing people to kind of make changes as they see a campaign like this. It's a longer campaign or whatever. That's a long time to be nailed down to a single character that you're kind of not feeling, not super comfortable with, or might be happier making a change. So I'm always open to that. I'm always happy to let people make changes like that. At the end of the day, it's about whether or not your players are having fun, right? And that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, with that, thank you all so much for tonight's game. I'll turn the floor back over to our gracious host, Beluga.
Hello, everyone. Thank you again for joining us tonight for more Dream Dealers of Fairhaven. We will be back here in 1 week for the next session, so next Wednesday. But in the meantime, we do have Rise of the Rune Lords tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, where we're starting the next chapter of our adventure. So, tune in for that
Very
and
fun.
see what kind of shenanigans happen. I believe tomorrow's going to be a roleplay heavy session, so lots of things for the players to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I'm Beluga, your guildmaster here at the Role Players Guild. I play Mark V, the Warforged Warlock. Alex, to you with Laura on deck.
Yeah. I'm Alex. I'm your resident cleric druid multiclass Silex Sister. Laura.
Hello, I'm Laura. I'm playing the Autono Rogue, Gilzaf, with beautiful strawberry scented lip balm eyeshadow. Be Spouse. And a pet mimic.
Yeah, Justice used his lay on hands because that's what he does. Elspeth just makes decisions without thinking because that's what she does. And in a session or two, we'll finally have an int score in the party. Jason.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It is good.
Higher than a +1.
Very nice. All right, very cool. Once again, another fun game with y'all. Always grateful for the experience. It is super fun, and I will see you all next week, same time, same place. Thanks so much.
Mhm.
All right. Hope to see you guys tomorrow, but if not, I'll see you next Wednesday. Good night, everyone.
Yay. Bye,
Good night, everyone.
y'all.